Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Leanna, and today I do have a what sold video for you. I have some on Posh Canada, some on Posh US, but I've also included a couple of eBay sales because they did just want to show you what is selling for us on eBay. But to be totally frank with you, Paul is my eBay guy. He does 95% of the listings on eBay. I do cross list a little bit. It's something that I'm still continuously working on. But he does a lot of the eBay sales, so sometimes I don't talk about them as much. But that's just part of our business. It's how we do business. It's how we've separated it all. We're not each of us in everything. We sort of have specialties that we deal with, and like I'm there for backup on eBay. He's here for backup on Poshmark. Anyway, so I do have a couple of stories that go along with them as well. But let's get started. So first off, Poshmark Canada. The first one is this Lululemon Jacket, the Spring Fling camouflage jacket. I picked this up a few months ago at my local Mission Thrift for $6, and it sold for $75. Now, I'm not going to give you the math. I want you to figure out for yourself, but as much as I can, I will tell you what I paid for that item, when approximately I bought it, and what it sold for, so you get an idea of what kind of profit I made. The next one I want to talk about is this Juicy Couture belt. I did pick this up at my favorite Goodwill, which is about a half hour away from home, for $4.49. This was listed for maybe 2 days, and I got an offer for $42. It sold really, really fast. It was new with tags. It was very blingy, so very 90s. The next one I want to talk about are these pair of Riker slip-on shoes. They were a size, I think, 38, I believe. Don't quote me, it could have been 38 and a half. And I represent, when something comes in a European size, I always represent it in the listing as what it says on the tags or on the shoe or whatever. I don't approximate US sizes unless they have a size chart on the website. So I listed them as the size 38 as the European size. And what happened was the person bought them for $35, which is okay. She messaged me after she got them, and this is another tactic that buyers use. They will message and say, hey, it doesn't fit, would you take a return, to feel you out, to see if you are open to a return on that item. But because I know that I represented this right, that she read the listing wrong, because she said, oh, I did the research, I thought they were the size 8 or 8.5, and according to your chart, this is what they should have been, but they're not. And I'm like, yeah, I didn't have a chart in my listing, so no, I'm not taking the return. She's ended up reposhing them, which I have no problems with. I let her use my photos. I have no problem with that because she had just purchased them. I don't normally leave my reposh setting on. I usually turn it off because if somebody's had an item for a few months, the condition changes, or it could very well change, and I don't want them using my photos because in some ways it could be misrepresented as the condition it was 2 months ago. So anyway, it did work out. She gave me a 5-star rating, so I was really happy with that. The next one is this Denier leather bomber coat. I picked this up, I believe, on our first camping trip. I think that was in June in the summer. I'm not 100%. I think it was June. And I picked this up at one of the thrift stores we went to. I didn't pay more than $8 for it, $8 or $10, and it sold for $50. So because it's coming to the end of the season for winter coats, I don't mind taking lower offers to get them out as long as I'm making enough profit. Because honestly, big bulky coats take up a lot of room in my inventory. Even though I do have wardrobe boxes, from moving companies, this is my tip for the day. A wardrobe box that you can pick up really inexpensively from a U-Haul store or wherever your moving boxes are. They're very inexpensive, like $20 maybe, and they make great little storage units for heavier, bulkier coats, dresses, things like that. They have a lid, so they keep everything dust-free, so it's really cool. But anyway, I don't want them still taking up room in my inventory, so I will take lower offers if it still makes me profit. The next one I want to talk about, actually I have to still ship it, so you know what, fingers crossed, is this Pilcrow Anthropology Sweatshirt that I picked up just recently. I think it was in a haul. I believe I paid $5.29 for it. It sold in less than a day for $35. Less than a day, I got an offer. He absolutely took it because there's nice profit there. I don't come across this brand or Anthropology items very often here where I am. I have found a couple that have been really, really good, and it is a brand that I will definitely check out when I'm at the thrift store. And if the price point and the condition is good, I will probably 95% of the time pick it up. So that's sort of, so far, Canada. I have sold more. I just don't share everything because that would be a very long video, and you don't need to know everything. You get the idea of what kind of things are selling. So, Posh US. So these are all going to be in US funds, just to keep that in mind. Again, I will try and remember what I paid for it, where I bought it, etc. The first one I'm going to show you is this Johnson Brothers mug and saucer. It was a Christmas scene. Really pretty set. I've had this. I've had this for like over 2 years. I think I got this even before we moved. So that's almost 3 years. Oh my goodness. Yes. So my story, I have a story with this one. It's been listed for a long time. It's been relisted for a long time. I've been debating about redonating it. I had it listed for $35. Somebody offered me $27, which is fantastic. I would have taken that deal, no problem. But before I could actually accept it, because it was overnight, they decided that they would just buy it at full price instead. I don't know why they did that. Maybe they were worried that it would sell on them and they wanted to secure it. I don't know, but I'm really happy with the fact that they bought it. I would have taken their offer because it was still a really good, reasonable offer, but a full price sale is always nice as well. The next one, and I'm not going to be able to pronounce this, but it is a Soya and Kayo coat. I have a couple of these in my closet because when I first started picking them up, comps were really great. They were selling really well. They were selling for more money. This has been in my closet for well over a year. I took an offer of $45 because it has been sitting for a while. It is a red trench coat. I thought it would sell a lot faster, but it didn't. I still made profit. I'm happy it's gone. More room in my inventory. The next one I wanted to show you is this Calvin Klein dress. It was new with tags. So for $37, this was a bins pickup. Calvin Klein is not a brand that I would normally pick up at the normal thrift stores because thrift stores still tend to price it way up. And usually there's not a lot of wiggle room. But because this was new with tags, it was a bins pickup. I took an offer of $37. I'm ecstatic with that because it probably cost me maybe $2, maybe $2 Canadian, which is, let's say, $1.50 US, and it sold for $37. So I was really happy with that. The last Posh US item I want to show you, and I'm showing you for a couple of reasons. Number one, it could be a little bit of an untapped market. And number two, there is a story with it. So it is this Tiffany & Co. glasses case, hard-sided, the lovely Robin Eggs blue that it comes in. I've sold this exact thing before, not this item, an item just like it before. I do sell glass cases on the regular, and they do tend to be underpriced at thrift stores. If you can pick them up at the bins, it's great. Get some of the better brands, Coach, Tiffany, I can't remember anything else. So this sold for $12, which is not a lot of money, but it still made me profit because I paid less than $1 American for it. They opened up a case. Why? Because when I packaged it, I wrapped it in bubble wrap, and I put it into a bubble mailer. And I did that mainly because it was a $12 sale. That's why I wasn't going to spend the money on a box for a $12 sale. I may change my mind about that because they opened up a case because the package looked like it had been stepped on. The case itself was smashed in, and they were quite, they weren't mad at me. They were just whatever. They opened a case, which absolutely do that. I said, I'm really sorry. I've shipped like this before. I've never had a problem. I will accept the return, but I really don't want it back. Like I told Poshmark, could you refund the buyer? But I don't want this item back. Because if you ship, excuse me, if you are Canadian selling on Posh US, pardon me, to bring it back over the border will cost you money. So it would have added at least another $5 to this item, which is not worth it. and or I can get it destroyed at the border. So my stallion will destroy it as well. I'm not 100% sure if there's a cost involved in that. I would think there might be. But I just said, you know what, I don't want it. It's not usable. So, you know what? Whatever. What impressed me with this, couple things. Number one, the buyer was, I mean, yeah, they were upset, but they weren't upset with me. They were quite professional and nice about it, which was really great. And number two, Poshmark resolved the case within 24 hours. And it happened on a Saturday. So it was open on a Saturday. They resolved it by the Sunday. And what they did is they treated it as a lost package or a, USPS fault package. I got my money still and the buyer got refunded. So I was really impressed with that. With the fact that they actually listened to what was going on and that it was very, very quick in resolving. I was really, really impressed with that. So there's a plus for Poshmark. All right. Number 3, we're going to eBay now. So eBay, like I said before, is very much Paul's domain, but I wanted to share a few of his sales because they were really kind of cool. The first one are these popular mechanic magazines from the 1930s to the 1950s. He sold these for $32.99. Not a clue where he picked them up. I should have asked him that. Knowing Paul, he picked them up for very little money at either an online auction, which he maybe paid $5 for, or at a thrift store where he might have paid 50 cents a magazine, something like that. Paul is very much like me, and he keeps his cost of goods very, very low. Very seldom do we pay up for something. The next one I want to show you because it's different. In this day and age, it's different. These are a set. There's 3 sets of vintage cufflinks with mother of pearl. They're really pretty. We've had these listed for a very long time. They were going overseas somewhere, and I totally forget where. Should have really done more research on the eBay stuff, huh? But they were going overseas, Norway, something like that. And they sold for $31.99 US, which is really, really good. And cufflinks, of all things. Those are a very not so common thing anymore. But these are really, really pretty, and we're really glad that they sold. The last sale I want to share with you from eBay is this vintage Sears Countercraft hand mixer. It came in the box. It was really cute, very, very retro, very vintage looking. And it sold for $52 US. I was really impressed with that because I love those little sort of kitschy, retro looking gadgets. And I would love to have been able to use it in my house, but I have a hand mixer that works, so I don't bother. I would love to change everything up and make it all vintage, but that's not going to happen. So vintage things are very popular right now, regardless of what platform you're on. And as long as the vintage hand mixer did work, so that's a bonus. You don't want it there just for decor. You're not going to make as much for it. So just a few things just to sort of broaden your horizons on what to pick up and what's been selling. And that's it. So far, June. It's not June. It's January. I'm wearing a turtleneck. January's been okay. There was it started off great guns for me on Poshmark, and then the second week it just went total like nothing. It is picking up again, so I'm really happy with that. I'm hoping that the next few months are going to pick up a lot because I really need to make some money here. But as it goes, I'm listing consistently, and I've been relisting my closet again, and I've been listing very consistently, so I'm hoping that bodes well for the future. Anyway, that is it for today. I hope everybody has a fantastic week. I'll be back on Friday. I'm not sure yet what I'm going to talk about. I got a couple of good ideas in my brain that we can chat about. But until then, have a great week. Bye, guys.